Hello, I'm Liselle Sambury. I'm a traditionally published author, and welcome to this week's writing vlog. It's Tuesday, it's not Monday. I usually start on Monday, but I straight up forgot yesterday that I was supposed to be filming a vlog, and then today I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be filming a vlog. So that's how we got here. But I wanted to start with some updates. Very happy news, very positive update. I was approved for a Canada Arts Grant. I talked about the Canada Arts Grant program a bit in my video, wherever it's going to be, also down below, in my video about how I make money as a full-time author. So Canada Arts Grant, I received one last year for working on my adult horror, The Newlyweds, and this year I received one for working on a dark academia project. This is a young adult project and one that I'm hoping to present as my option, so for my publisher. So your option in your contract is kind of like the next book that you have going, and so you show it to your publisher first. So that's the point of the option, is that they have a sort of exclusive period with it to decide whether they want to buy it or not before you can then submit why to other editors, other publishers, things like that. And so I was hoping this dark academia project could be what I use for my option. So I applied to get grant funding for it and I was approved. But that has changed the projects that I'm going to be working on this year, because I was waiting to see if I would get approved. So because I have been approved, I need to write that book this year. So The Newlyweds, which is my adult horror that I was working on, and that in my last vlog I talked about realizing that I need to rewrite, I don't have time to work on that this year anymore. So it's going to be put on hold, and for next year I'm hoping that I could apply to some separate grants for working on the rewrite next year, and so we'll see how that works. But because I am being given grant money to work on a book this year, it's best for me to shift my focus to that, and so I've pushed The Newlyweds to the next year. So I won't be working, it's very unlikely that I'll be working on it anymore this year, just with the project workload. And so this year I'm really focusing solely on projects in which I have some sort of monetary contract assigned to it, because I do need to make money to continue writing full time. So that's what I'm going to be working on this year. And so that's how kind of projects have shifted now that I've been given that grant. So what am I working on this week? So this week I am working on I'm working on replotting my fourth book. So this is my fourth contract book. I'm calling it Bear Hunt. That title is going to change, but anyway, I'm going to refer to it as Bear Hunt until I have a new title reveal, which probably won't be for a very long time. So Bear Hunt it is, and that's my fourth book. So it's going to be a horror. I think with this one I'm hoping it'll be quite a bit more fast paced, and I'll be able to get a bit of a thriller spin on it as well. So that's kind of my hope for it. And so when I submitted my proposal to my publisher, I did some revisions on it, I changed things around, and so the plot that I had when I began with this book is no longer, most of it is relevant, a lot of it is relevant, but some things do need to change and be shifted, and so I'm going to work on replotting it this week and fixing all of that. So that's what I'm going to be working on, and I'm doing something new with it. So I'm replotting it using a program called Plotter. I'm actually going to have a video, I'll link it down below if I've already posted it, but I cannot remember my schedule right now. So I'm gonna have a video where I do a review on this program to talk about, how I found the process of using it, if I liked it, if I would recommend it, pros and cons, and all those sorts of things. And so this week I want to focus on replotting the project using the program so I can see if I like it. And so that's kind of my feeling about it. I'll probably make another video on Plotter as well, showing more tutorial wise how I set everything up. So that's kind of my plan for that. So Monday, because I basically already have a built-in update now, so on Monday I was working on it, and so what I did was I basically decided all of the subplots I was going to have. I already knew what subplots I was going to have because I decided on them beforehand, but I was just kind of deciding if I still wanted to do all those subplots. I also listed out some like red herring stuff that I want to do, and so I basically broke down all of those things that I need to plan, all those subplot things and things like that, and I broke it up throughout the week. So yesterday I not only set everything up in Plotter and like inputted all of my plot information in it, I also planned out the full B plot. So the B plot using Save the Cat is like a character that is supposed to be helping your main character understand what they need to learn in the story. They're supposed to be helping them with that. In this case, it's not a romantic B plot, it's her brother, and so I basically planned out how that was going to be, and I planned out one more subplot. And so today I also need to plan out 2 more of these things. I'll pick and choose which one, but I'm adding another POV to this story. So that was something my editor suggested, and so I'm adding another POV. So today I'm going to try and plan out the entirety of that POV because it's essentially kind of its own story. That's what I'm learning about when I do second POVs, is that I'm essentially planning out 2 stories because I need each POV to have their own story. And the way that I end up doing POVs, this is another thing where it's like 2 timelines similar to my 3rd book, and so I have to plan out everything that's happening in one timeline and in the other timeline. And so yeah, I gotta figure that out. That's what I'm gonna be doing today. And then I have to plan one more thing, and I'll probably plan one of the red herring sections or something like that. But so far, like, Plotter is working really well. It's doing what I wanted to do. I wanted to try this program because I wanted to be able to visually see my main plot and my subplots and like red herrings and things like that separate from the rest of the plot, and so far it's really helping me with that. So I'm looking forward to when I'm done with it this week and like being able to share all my Plotter thoughts in a separate video. But yeah, so that is the whole of the very long update. But that's the way these videos go, you know, they have long updates, so that's the way it is. So yeah, that's it, and I will check back in with you actually tomorrow because I want to keep my normal schedule, so I'll check in with you tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday. It is also tax season. I've been spending a lot of my day figuring out tax things. I just, 2021 was my first year being self-employed and like being a full-time author, and I just had to learn certain things. I had some back and forth emails with my accountant to like understand things better, and I do have a wonderful accountant that's very good in like answering all my questions and like taking the time to explain things to me, which I really, really appreciate. So yeah, it's been great in that way, in that respect. In the respect of things with taxes, I've had some missteps, I've had some foibles, I've learned some things, but ultimately everything is fine. So I spent a chunk of my day doing that. A book was delivered to me, but it was damaged, so I immediately packaged it back. So I can't show that to you, but I do have a book to show. So this is Blood Scion by Deborah Falley. Okay, I have heard some people say Scion, and I started to like second guess myself. But then I Googled it and like how to pronounce it, and it says Scion. So I was like, okay, I feel like I was right the first time. But I haven't gotten to, I missed, Deborah was doing Instagram Live and I missed it. So then I missed hearing her pronounce it. So hopefully I'm saying everything right. And if not, I will correct myself down the line. But I'm so excited for this book. It comes out March 8th. So it might be out by the time this vlog comes out. I'm pretty sure it will be. So yeah, you can just like go out and get it. I got this shipped to me early. My Indigo pre-order came in early. And I want to read you the back. It says, "This is what they deserve. They wanted me to be a monster. I will be the worst monster they ever created." So I'm very excited. So I have that book, and eventually my book will ship to me not damaged, and another book. I was so sad. I like opened the package. So it was a new Junji Ito book. I didn't realize he had a new like book out with Viz Media, and so I like immediately ordered it. And then it came damaged and I was like, no. Anyway, so I will eventually get another one. So that's that for writing today. So I had 2 goals for my plotting today. The first goal was to sprinkle in some more turds, and I will explain that more in a minute. My second goal was to do another planning of a subplot. So there's a subplot involving the main character's siblings, and I wanted to get that sorted out. So the turds. So I'll link the video over here for Laura Writes as one of her book clubs. The book was like called Mastering Suspense, and it was like talking about how to make like a faster paced book. And it said, you know, to make a faster paced book, you should have these turds occurring, you know, at a certain period of time, like every like 30 to 50 pages, which I ended up translating to like every like 4 to 7 chapters for 2,000 word chapters. And so she actually spells them TRDs. So it's twists, reversals, and danger. And yeah, I think Laura called them turds. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what that word is. And so now I call them turds too. So anyway, that's what I wanted to go and add in. And the great thing about Plotter, which I'm like very quickly becoming a Plotter stan, but the great thing about it is I could assign tags. So every chapter that had a twist or reversal or danger, I tagged it as such, and then I could filter by the tag. So then it grayed out all the ones that didn't have it. So then it was really easy for me to see gaps in the book where I didn't have enough of that happening, and I could go in and I could like selectively add it in and like fill in those gaps. And so I did that today, and that was really helpful and great. And then what I also did was then I had to fix that subplot with the siblings. And another like helpful Plotter thing is that the way I arrange my subplots, I do like to try and resolve half of them before the midpoint happens and like half of them after if I can, because I don't want to be resolving all of the subplots at once, because it's just going to be too much stuff to like be wrapping up. And so I try and like have them a little bit more spread out that way, or at least like ending at different periods of time that are kind of far enough away from each other. And so this sibling subplot, I noticed that it was going past the midpoint, and I realized there was a point before the midpoint where I could stop it and I could wrap it up and I could like kind of be done with it. And so I decided to do that instead. It's not like quite done with, but you know, it's like it's working. So I realized that I could do that instead, and so I made that happen. And the great thing that I was talking about with Plotter is that I could see all my subplots and where they were existing in the book and in the chapters together. And so I could see, okay, like all of them are kind of like ending around here. So I can take this one and I can end it earlier. I can take this one, I can like shift it over here, and I can take this one, I could do this with it. And so when I'm like continuing to develop my subplots, I can keep looking at that and making sure that I'm shifting them in the story so that they're not all going to end at once, so that I'm not having to like wrap up a bunch of things for the reader in rapid succession without like giving them a chance to sit with anything. And so that is one other thing that I accomplished today. So I had 2 things that I like set up to do every day, so those were done. So on Thursday I'm gonna do planning for another subplot and another red herring, and then on Friday I'm gonna do planning for another subplot and another red herring, and then I'll be done replotting everything and I'll have everything that I need to get going and get drafting. And so I'm going to be drafting this book during Camp Nano in April. That is my plan. Maybe my plans will change, but like currently that's my plan. I'd like to get it done early if I can. So yeah, it's really good. I'm really feeling excited about the book, doing all of this plotting. Like I'm really getting like amped up for it, and like this is the first time I've like been able to so meticulously plot the kind of mystery elements of a story and to like really think really hard about like things like my red herrings and all of that, and trying to arrange that, because in the past I kind of tried to plan out red herrings and stuff, but it's never kind of felt to be a tried and true method that I felt was solid. It always kind of felt like it was on shaky ground and I needed to learn how to do it better. And so now I feel like I've learned how to do it a lot better. And so I think that'll help me a lot in writing this book, and I think that will also help me in the future in when I'm rewriting The Newlyweds, which is my adult horror thriller project, which I'm going to need to be able to do all those things like red herrings. Like it'll help me a lot to be able to do that going forward. So it's all very helpful experience. I do feel like I'm learning and improving and getting better, and so that's what I always kind of want to do. I'd like to hope that, you know, with each book I'm doing something better. So that is it for Wednesday, and I will check in with you on Friday. Hello, it is Friday. It is the end of the writing vlog. I also just finished up filming my plotter review video, which I checked my schedule and it's coming out next week. So after this video, next week is where you will see that video, and I will link it in the description once it's been posted. So if you happen to be seeing this vlog at a later time, you'll be able to find your way to that review. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited to share my thoughts and to share the way that I plotted this book, or replotted this book rather. So yeah, I finished that up today. What did I do? I finished up plotting a subplot and a red herring. I ended up adding one more red herring just because like, yeah, it just ended up being added. I think the theme of this book is gonna be like, everybody is suspicious. I'm suspicious of absolutely everyone, especially now that I've planned this out for you to be suspicious of absolutely everyone. So that's exciting. But it's really cool to like be able to visually see all those plot lines and things that I've planned out, and I feel really solid about what I've replotted. So I'm really happy about that. I do think there are some details that I'll need to work out. For example, I haven't really decided what their house is going to look like, and like the layout of that, and like how that's going to be. And the same for the school. I've kind of been working on a very vague sort of layout for it, and I think I am going to have to like decide what those things are going to be at some point, so that when I'm going to plot this, I'm like putting in the right, or when I'm going to draft it, that I'm getting in all those details. But I think at least this is a good basis, and I'm really happy with what I have here. And so I'll probably, maybe next week at some time, I'll like actually look up some pictures and like reference photos that I can use for drafting, and I'll actually put those into my little plotter file so that I can reference those when I'm getting into my draft. But at the very least, I'm happy to like have a really good idea of the direction that it's going in, and it's making me feel really positive about drafting, because I feel like I know everything. I'm like, okay, I like solidly understand how this book is gonna be and how everything is gonna come together and how the mystery is gonna go. I think there's only one sort of bit towards the end where I'm kind of unsure, because a lot of things get revealed and some things were cookie crumbed and some things were not. And so I'm kind of like, how much can I do this without feeling like I'm just like shouting everything at the reader? So I think that's something that's gonna have to come out in drafting and like be better done in drafting. But I think overall, it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about this story. I think it's going to be really fun. I think it has some similarities to book 3, Butcherbirds, but I think it also has a lot of its own differences, which is important to me, because I think especially for someone like me that I really enjoy, you know, themes like messy, complicated families, things like that, and they end up in all of my books. Sometimes I worry about them being too samey, and so I have to actively work to make sure I am not doing that. And so I think this is not doing that, and I think this will be very different, which I'm excited about. So yeah, feeling really good, feeling really positive about what I've got and what I've put together. And I guess I'll be drafting for Camp Nano in April, which I guess it's still the beginning of March, so it feels far enough away that I'm not panicking about it. But yeah, it'll be exciting to do that, and hopefully my schedule will continue to allow for that, but I should be able to like draft during that month. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And I don't think there's any other updates. What other update? Oh, I don't, I was like, is this like gauche? I don't know, maybe not, but I got my very first royalty payment yesterday, so that was really exciting. I talked recently about how my book, I had learned that Blood Like Magic had earned out, and so I had earned out my advance, and when you earn out your advance, you could start earning royalties. And so I was earning royalties apparently this whole time. I just didn't realize, because we didn't have the statement yet. So apparently I've been earning them for a bit, but it was really exciting because I hadn't really expected to earn anything on this first royalty, well, not first royalty payment, this is actually my third royalty statement I've been given. It's just the other two were blank because my book hadn't come out yet. So this is my first statement where my book had come out. So that was really exciting and fun and validating. And yeah, so that was that. And I think that's really it for exciting news. So yeah, I will see you again in a couple weeks for the next writing vlog. I don't know what I'm going to be working on. I don't know if my copy edits for Butcherbirds are going to be coming in. We've actually, like, the date that we decided on, that we like tentatively were like, maybe it might be this, we've actually already pushed that a bit. So I think that's probably, you know, it's pushed my copy edits date a little bit, but I think it's probably going to be coming up soon, so maybe that'll be my next writing vlog. But otherwise, that's all I have to say for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and you'll probably want to subscribe if you want to see that plotter review so you can get a notification when it goes up. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!